We're at the museum talking to Jerry Sharp. And Jerry, the reason I'm here, uh, not too long ago, I was reading on one of the genealogy websites, Tennessee, I think it was Tennessee's genealogy website, that Ms. Coker had an article there about the DeLap cemetery that when back in the 50s, I think, that she knew someone from the DeLap family that maintained the cemetery, and it was grown up, and she saw that there were some sunken graves there. So I became fascinated with the DeLap cemetery, and I went down there and did a little video, and my daughter had recorded a demo tape that I put behind it and put it on YouTube, and it's got like close to 30,000 unique views on the internet. One time I went down there and I got out of my car and I was surrounded by a bunch of junkyard dogs. So I got back in my car and left. You know, that Civil War cemetery is an asset to our city because there's a lot of history there that you and your folks uncovered. Mm-hmm. So I went to the property assessor's office and had them to give me a satellite map until I could see who owned the property. And as we talked, your name came up, Jerry Sharp. And he said, if you're going to do anything, that's the first man you should talk to.
Could I give you a little history of the area?
Absolutely, absolutely.
This area was named DeLap because Bob DeLap, his ancestors, lived in that area years ago. And at the crossroads there at Jacksburg Pike and Toe String Road was named DeLap because a lot of DeLaps lived there. Mm-hmm. At one time, Laban Sharp used to own from Hunter's Branch down to Jacksburg. I think that he sold this or either acquired it. I don't know at this time. He was my great-great-grandfather. Mm-hmm. Anyway, when Miss Coker came to us, and I told her at the time I was so busy getting this museum going, I didn't have really a good chance to help her, and I felt awful bad about it. But I've also helped them fill up a few cracks, you know, by getting people interested. And Jerry Myers, our president, got interested in it, and he got a lot of families. They wrote their families that were buried there, and some of them didn't even know it. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of some of the names of the Civil War clubs or whatever still exist today. Right. They came and helped it. At this time,
I think the Sons of the Confederate.
Yes, I couldn't think the name of it. At this time, the county has been very good to help us, and Jerry Myers has been taking, and by the way, Bert Loop give us a riding mower to keep up the wedding chapel. We don't need it here, but the cemetery mowed. And Jerry Myers is our president. He does that and does a very good job. I would like to see us get together and you come to a historical society meeting or the board of directors and let's say the curator and the president and the treasurer. Let's sit down and talk about this. And Jerry Myers could tell us more. He is more knowledgeable, much more than I am. Right. But he knows that whenever he does anything for the cemetery, I'm always saying, Jerry, I back you. Whatever you do, I'm right there with you. And he's done an outstanding job to get the flags up. I can ask Jerry if we could have a meeting. We could have it here at the museum anytime, or library. We've got enough room. We can put chairs around here and just have a few meetings. Right. And It's already been classified as a Civil War site, I think. And another thing that people need to know about it is, all these Confederate, I know this was a Union, this part of the country
When it was
strong
Big Creek
Union.
Gap,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was strong.
It
Union.
absolutely was.
Pardon me. But these Confederate soldiers, very few of them died in battle. They died
Absolutely.
of a disease.
I think measles. A lot
Yeah,
of them was.
yeah. And it's so sad that they didn't have the medical knowledge. That they did.
Absolutely, and I think most of them died in either 1862 or 1863.
Everybody that we know got a new headstone,
Right.
whether he had the right name, and
Right.
I think the families and everybody understood that.
And there's
Jerry,
also a prisoner of war headstone down there.
the property now is owned by the Historical Society. And Jerry gets a lot of, he does a lot of work on it voluntarily, and I'm sure he gets, well, I know the county comes and helps him with this. Not all the time, but every time we've asked him. But I think you have a good idea. The thing I think we need to do is sit down with the Historical Society first, because they've done most of the work. And
Right.
like I say, I'm not taking any knowledge out of Jerry.
Right.
I'm like you. I'd be glad to serve any way we can to get it better. I say every day, I thank God my blessings for letting me just be down here.
Amen.
And at
Amen.
80 years old.
Amen.